And the more trapped I became, the more I felt like I was just going to be a slave for the rest of my life. There was no getting out. Towards the end, he was threatening to kill me and the kids.
Many victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking live in fear of the person who harmed them, and having a place that they can live and know that their address will be completely confidential gives them such a sense of peace.
We never know who's been victimized, so we want to be careful about what we say, the language we use. Victims of trauma experience a profound change in not only their physiology and their nervous systems, but also their worldview. And so they need our compassion and our kindness and our patience.
The Montana Address Confidentiality Program is a statewide program that provides a legal substitute address for survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking to use when interacting with local and state government agencies. If you are a law enforcement officer in Montana, you need to know about the ACP so that you can do your job properly if you find yourself interacting with an ACP participant. Per Montana Code Annotated, any state or local government agency that requires the participant's address shall accept and use the address on the card. The statute refers to the authorization card that a participant is issued when his or her application to the program is approved. Courts and law enforcement departments are government agencies and therefore must use the address on the ACP authorization card. There are victims of crime eligible for the ACP in every community throughout Montana.
During your law enforcement career, you are guaranteed to interact with someone enrolled in the program or someone who is eligible to enroll. The more you know about the ACP, the better you'll be able to serve survivors of violent crime. The purpose of the ACP is to keep the home address of a participant from becoming part of any public record. This simple protection can increase the safety of a participant and protect them from future harm by an abuser or stalker. In Montana, nearly every interaction that a person has with a government agency at the state, county, or city level generates a record that can easily be accessed by any member of the public. Often, these public records include an address for the person seeking services. In the case of a domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking survivor, it can be extremely dangerous for them if their home address is publicly available. Most participants in Montana's ACP have worked hard to break away from an unsafe situation, and having a safe place to live helps them recover from their experiences without fear of future violence toward them or any family member they may live with. Here's a simple explanation of how the Address Confidentiality Program works.
To enroll, an ACP application and checklist must be completed and submitted along with proof of eligibility, like a protection order or a law enforcement report, and proof of Montana residency. Once the application package is complete, it should be mailed to the Office of Victim Services. Once the application is received, ACP staff will review it. If all necessary documents are received, the ACP application will be approved, and an ACP card will be issued to the applicant. Montana ACP has two components. First, an ACP applicant is issued a substitute address to use instead of their home address when interacting with state or local government. The second component is that ACP receives first-class mail on behalf of participants. ACP staff sorts and repackages unopened mail and forwards it to the participant at a safe place of their choosing. ACP will send mail to a home, post office box, or any other address specified by the participant. The goal of Montana's Address Confidentiality Program is to help survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking to stay safe from further harm or abuse.
As you've heard, once an eligible survivor enrolls in the ACP, he or she is issued an authorization card that verifies participation in the program. On the card is the participant's name, the designated substitute address with a private mailbox number, the valid dates of enrollment for the participant, and the state seal. On the back of the card is a statement that certifies the bearer as an authorized ACP participant. The card also provides a phone number to call if you or the participant have any questions about the ACP and how to use the substitute address. The information on the card is not confidential, and upon enrollment in the program, participants are encouraged to carry their authorization card with them at all times. They are also notified that most government agencies will need to make a photocopy of the card when using the substitute address in place of a home address. It's important to note that when he or she enrolls in the ACP, a participant authorizes the Attorney General to act as his or her legal agent for service of process. In other words, a participant in the Montana ACP can still be effectively served with official court documents such as a summons, subpoena, or civil complaint. Criminal justice professionals must be aware of this aspect of the program so that a participant's substitute address can still be utilized even if they are involved in a court action. The substitute address issued to all address confidentiality program participants is P.O. Box 201410, 555 Fuller Avenue, Helena, Montana 59620. Each household served by the program is issued a unique private mailbox number to assist program staff with receiving and sorting mail. Participants can use the substitute address when interacting with the Department of Public Health and Human Services and Office of Public Assistance, Motor Vehicle Division for licensing, vehicle registration, and disability placards, county elections offices when registering to vote, public schools, courts, state and local law enforcement agencies, and more. The substitute address should be used in place of a participant's home address on law enforcement records such as incident reports, citations, witness statements, arrest reports, correspondence, and any other document or database entry created from interacting with an ACP participant. When a law enforcement officer becomes aware that someone is an ACP participant, the officer cannot require the participant to disclose his or her home address. The legal substitute address listed on the authorization card must be accepted. Law enforcement may encounter an ACP participant in a wide variety of situations and may view the participant as a victim, witness, or suspect.
Hi, I was at the mall and my purse got stolen, my phone and my tablet was in it and everything.
Okay, would you like to make a stolen item report today?
Yes, please.
Do you have any form of identification that I can use?
Yes, I have my driver's license, but can you use my address on the ACP card?
I'm not familiar with this program.
I'm enrolled in the address confidentiality program with the Department of Justice, so I need to keep my address confidential.
Okay, and does mail go to this address for you?
Yes.
Okay, we can use this address then. Tell me about what happened.
I was at the food court and
Regardless of the situation, if an officer has verified the person's participation in the Montana ACP, the participant's home address must be protected. You may need to issue a participant a traffic citation, create an incident report that lists the participant as an involved party, respond to an emergency call, or request a warrant for the participant's arrest. Use the substitute address listed on the authorization card provided by the participant. Let's look at another example where you might encounter an ACP participant.
Hi, I'm with the police department. The reason I stopped you is speeding. I need to see your driver's license, insurance, and registration.
And here's my ACP card. If you would please use that address, I'm not supposed to give out my home address.
Okay, I'm familiar with the program. I can do that. All right, hang tight in the car for me. I'll be right back with you.
thank you.
What's that? It's an ACP card. It's a program through the Department of Justice that helps protect victims of domestic violence. Addresses, keeps them confidential.
Sounds like a valuable program.
During a traffic stop, an officer may ask the driver for a residential address. If the driver is an ACP participant, they should provide the substitute address listed on the authorization card. P.O. Box 201410, 555 Fuller Avenue, Helena, Montana 59620. Because the Montana Motor Vehicle Division is also subject to ACP laws, it's likely that the driver's license and vehicle registration will reflect the substitute address. Private businesses are not required by law to accept the participant's substitute address. However, many choose to contribute to survivor safety by doing so. This means that hopefully the driver's proof of insurance will also reflect the substitute address. If the driver informs you that they are enrolled in the Address Confidentiality Program, you may request to see their authorization card in order to verify participation. Once you verify their participation in the program, you cannot require the driver to disclose his or her home address.
Another scenario might involve a law enforcement report documenting a crime that occurred at a participant's home. If the participant explains to the investigating officer that they are enrolled in the ACP, their address should remain confidential. Even though the reporting officer may know the participant's home address, it should not be included in the report. Instead, the officer should include a copy of the ACP authorization card with the report. In some cases, the location of the crime, the participant's home, may need to be documented and stored in a confidential location. It's up to the reporting officer to ensure that the home address will not be included in any releasable records. Work with your supervisor to determine the best mechanism for keeping an ACP participant's home address protected. You may also want to contact your agency's records department for guidance. In the rare circumstance that an ACP participant is interviewed as a suspect in a crime or arrested, it may be common for an officer to want to document the suspect's address. If they request that their home address remain confidential and they are confirmed to be an active participant in the program, the only address listed on the report should be the substitute address of P.O. Box 201410, 555 Fuller Avenue, Helena, Montana, 59620. It is understandable that officers may encounter an ACP participant who is incapacitated or unresponsive due to an accident or a medical emergency.
Okay, she's got a good pulse. She's breathing well. I don't see any signs of injuries. Do you know if she takes any medications?
I don't.
Do you know where she'd keep them if she does?
Her purse, maybe? It's on the desk.
Okay, great. Why don't you comfort her?
The Address Confidentiality Program recommends that once law enforcement discovers that a victim is a program participant, every effort is made to protect any information that may have been documented. Finally, if you encounter a victim of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking who may benefit from enrolling in the Address Confidentiality Program, please refer them to the program website or provide them with the phone number so that they can seek more information. Other helpful referrals may be to a local advocate or victim witness coordinator, and to the Montana Legal Services Association if they need legal assistance or a referral to an attorney. Law enforcement is an extremely demanding profession. Officers are put in impossible situations every day and are expected to be perfect. Please do your best to help survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking by being patient and calm. If you have questions about the Address Confidentiality Program or any other victim services issues, please call the Office of Victim Services at 1-800-498-6455. Thank you for all you do to keep Montana communities safe.